One. I'm over here already cracking up. Welcome, guys. I think this is going to be a good one. Another episode of Realtor Hacks, Tips, and Tricks. I'm one of your hosts, Hallie McCrory, based part-time in San Angelo, Texas, and part-time in Dallas, Texas. Two-time Icon agent, host for Emmy-nominated show American Dream TV, mentor for Tarek El Moussa's team. Got my lovely co-host on over here. I'm always like doing accidental because it's mirror. My lovely co-host, Casey Stiers, the downtown guru of Raleigh, North Carolina. She works all of North Carolina, though, and she is also a host for American Dream TV. And we've got I already know this is going to be a fun podcast with Nick Baldwin, co-founder. You guys probably know him as co-founder of Lab Coat Agents. If you're not in that Facebook group, you're definitely missing out on some good content. But he's also, big trainer. He was with Keller Williams, then was with EXP, now back with Keller Williams. Everybody wants him. We're all just fighting over him.
I like to feel out. I like to, test the waters.
Yes. Yeah. And he's doing a lot of big stuff with media right now. I'm super excited to have him on. We've been talking about you coming on for like months now.
Oh, wow. So. Well, thanks. I love that intro. That was super profesh.
Which one? Me talking or the little?
Well, that was good too, but I meant the theme song.
Oh yes, yeah. We just got just Fiverr. I'm like, I use Fiverr for everything these days. I'm like,
wow, okay, that's good leverage.
Yeah, video editing. What else? Renderings for new construction. Working on that right now.
Yeah, Fiverr is awesome. Well, pretty soon you'll be able to just do everything with AI.
I know, right? I'm ready for it.
I feel like it's definitely not there yet. I mean, I feel like using a person is usually the best bet for certain things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless it depends on what that person's good at.
Well, right. Like I would opt for using someone who's a professional editor than using AI to edit a video. I just feel like, now it's definitely not there. Like I've tried to edit videos with AI and it just misses the mark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that
was good.
A great example of that. So a lot of times I use the video vid.yo.
Yeah, I like video. I've used it too.
Yes. Well, and a lot of people like Opus Clip. That's another option. But that's good enough. And the price I pay for it for the pro version is better than what I'd pay someone on Fiverr to do. So I feel like it's just kind of, you have to weigh kind of the options. Is it good? Does it produce good enough content or whatever, whatever it may be? Because I know a person would be better, but it's 3 times the price.
Have you heard of Descript? Descript? Descript?
No. Wait,
spell that again?
Yeah, Descript. So Descript.
Okay.
Descript is like a real editor. It's not expensive, but it has really great AI features in it. So you can choose to use AI to find clips for you, or you can edit yourself, or a little bit of both.
Okay.
And it has all of the captions, has music, it has video that you can add, lots of B-roll. It's kind of like an all-in-one. It's only on the desktop. But then for my phone, I use captions. That's just what it's called. Captions.
Yes. Yeah. I use that one.
I love that one. That's a good one.
Me too.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, okay. So clearly another thing I did not mention, Nick is an expert at AI.
Well, I don't know if I'm an expert. I mean, I'm learning. I don't know if anyone.
People are asking you to come on stage and talk about it at different conferences.
That's true.
That means you're pretty good. You might be a little.
Yeah.
I know a few things. I know a few things, but I don't know if I'm I don't want to say that I'm an expert, but I'm trying to keep. It's almost impossible to keep up with everything that it's doing.
Yeah. I feel like there's new platforms coming out every day. Okay, so let's come back.
Sorry, we're ahead of ourselves.
Yes, no, I love it though. I love it. Okay, so I want to just give us a little background on who you are. Maybe your entry into real estate, and then lab coats, AI. Yeah.
Sure. So right now, what you're looking at is a total AI Nick. I'm not even here right now. No. So if I glitch out, that's why. No, so I got into real estate 17 years ago. I was I'm not going to go through all of the tiny details, but like 17 years ago, I was kind of, living the life, the bachelor life, taking some time off from high school. I moved to California. I stayed there for 4 or 5 years, came back to New Jersey, went to school for exercise physiology because when I was in LA, I got like super into health.
That was my major too.
Oh, was it really? That's so cool. All right, well, we have to talk about that sometime.
Yeah.
So I
was a biology minor. Does that count for anything?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yes,
that's cool
that definitely
too.
does.
I love it.
And education.
So I was exercise phys major. I had a personal training business. So that was fun. But when I came back to New Jersey, that's when I decided to go back to school, but I was also working and I was 24 years old and I was just living the life, had my own place, worked in a bar, just goofing around. And then so I met my now wife at the bar that I worked at. And that's when everything changed. She was like, hey man, like, if you want a relationship with me, there's nothing wrong with being a bartender. It's a reputable profession, but I can't be with someone who works till 3 o'clock in the morning every night. And I was like, yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah.
we own bars, so I live
right.
that life.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. So
downtown Raleigh.
That's so sweet.
Pretty much all of Glenwood is us.
Love
so
it.
in
I'll
downtown
come visit.
Raleigh. Yes.
But my mom was a top producer in the area with Remax at the time, so I decided to get my real estate license and join her team.
This was
and
California?
I never looked back. No, in New Jersey.
Oh, in New Jersey. Sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
That's where I'm from. So I'm from New Jersey, moved to LA, came back to New Jersey, went back to school, worked in a bar, decided to get my license in real estate. Got my license in real estate in 2007. It was a horrible economy, obviously. So a lot of people would say it was a stupid idea, but I did well. I went from making like pennies to like quadrupling my income for that following year. And I just never looked back. And so over time, I was really got into the technology side of it. This was when, Facebook wasn't even available to everybody. There was still MySpace. Twitter had just come out.
Yeah.
So I've been really just like diving in on the digital marketing aspect of it for a long time. But yeah, so I joined my mom's team and kind of the rest is history. And now fast forward 17 years, I'm no longer in New Jersey. I'm in Michigan. I moved here to my wife's hometown of all places. I was offered a job as a team leader of a market center for Keller Williams in my wife's hometown. So that brought us here. And in between that is when I met Tristan Almada, who is my business partner in Lab Coat Agents. And I didn't know him. I was introduced to him by a mutual friend. And he just had this group with a few hundred people in it. It wasn't really anything. And I went in there to kind of help him with some content. And it was kind of like at the jumping off point for Facebook groups. We got in early.
Like what year was this?
Oh, 2000 and probably 2012. Yeah, well, 2012. No, 2013 because 2014 because next year is the 10-year anniversary of Lab Coats.
Okay, cool.
It just started to grow because there really wasn't anything like it in the real estate space in terms of sharing best practices. People weren't they weren't used to that. Agents weren't used to other agents basically telling them what to do, what they do that's growing their business,
right,
without asking for that agent to pay for coaching. Like it wasn't a thing.
Right.
And the group just started to grow very rapidly. And next thing I know, it was at 5,000 members, 10,000 members. And then we had people who owned real estate technology companies who wanted to give us money to get their products in front of our members. And we're like, whoa, this is crazy. We should create a business around this. So the next thing you know, that's how Lab Coat started making money. We did our first event. Then we did another event. We've done a dozen in-person events in the last 10 years. We've had upwards of 1,000 agents at our events, and they're pretty awesome. We haven't done one in several years. But
well, it's been hard with COVID.
Yeah, it's been hard. I'd love to get back to it, but we're so busy. Who knows? Like, our kids were little then. Now they're in school. Like, it's hard to.
And it's so easy to do, online.
We do virtual events. Yeah. But yeah, it's just been lab coats was definitely the thing that put more of a spotlight on me in the industry and gave me a lot of opportunities. Keller Williams obviously loved that we were their agents and we had this group that was so large.
Yeah.
So when I became leadership with Keller Williams, there were even more opportunities.
Yeah.
And now I'm just in that space. Now I'm just in the leadership and the coaching aspect of real estate. Like, I don't sell anymore.
You're corporate for them.
No. I'm still an independent contractor.
Okay.
I'm not their employee, but I do create courses, and they're usually around digital marketing, branding, lead generation. And I also, coach independently on my own too. But that's the aspect of real estate that I really love. Like, I hated selling houses. Like, I just did not enjoy it. Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to get burnt out in it for sure.
Oh my
God.
God.
You don't have like your systems in place and stuff. Like,
that's
personally what I'm working on. I feel like last year I had a little like phase of like, this is like, it's not what I'm passionate about right now, but I feel like it is what I'm passionate about. I love helping people, but if you don't have systems in place that make it easier for yourself and make it a little less like just makes it more efficient for you and like takes away some of the brain power that, I mean, obviously you're going to have major brain power for every client, but like there's stuff that you can just have written out and not have to think about it and just follow the steps that saves you brain power.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I always tell agents, listen, if the agents that burn out are the ones that really just don't enjoy what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I wish I learned that a long time ago, in the sense that you don't have to work. You don't have to help every single person. Yeah. You don't have to, chase every single opportunity or lead that comes in. If you figure out who your target client is, like who your ideal client is, and who you want to work with, and what niche you want to attack, then that's going to make you much happier. And when you're happy, you don't burn out. So many agents are told, go in that room, close the door, stare at the wall, and pound the phones for 3 hours.
Yeah,
that's a miserable existence. And if you really figure out who you want to work with, and like you said, get your systems in place, then it's not going to be as miserable. It's not going to be miserable at all. But a lot of agents are miserable because they're taught this crazy, archaic way of getting business, and they're told it's the only way they can get business.
Right.
So yeah, but that's my story, So
yeah. And now you're sticking to it about it though. Why did you pick lab coat or like lab coat agent?
I didn't pick that. Tristan had that name before I joined, but so the catchphrase is exploring the science of real estate. Real estate is a science, in a sense that, like, lead generation is always a science. Figuring out, because what works today might not work as well tomorrow. So you're always having to analyze your systems and processes to figure out what's going to continue to work. Where do I need to change? What's not bringing me the ROI? So that's why we call it lab coat agents. Like, we're essentially the scientists of real estate.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I know this is kind of something you coach on, and, a topic that comes up a lot for when you're asked to speak. Can you tell us a little bit about how you've used your Facebook group and your community, Lab Coat Agents? How has building that online community elevated your brand or helped you when you were in your like real estate production career?
Yeah, so it's helped in that you know, people look at other people who have a pedestal
Mm-hmm.
as, you know, experts in everything. Like you said, you're experts in AI, an expert in AI. Like I wouldn't call myself an expert in AI. Like I would call myself someone who follows it and tries to keep up. I probably know more than the average person.
I guess we have to be careful with those words these
Well, yeah,
days with
because
social media, because like, you know, everybody's like, oh, I'm an expert on this. And I know you know this because you post about it. You're like, oh, this TikTok expert just told me influencer just told me to eat Tide Pods, or, you know.
Yeah, like right. It's like you see all these people on Instagram who you know, have a 17-hour morning routine. It's like by the time they're done with their morning routine, I'm ready for bed. Like it's you know, exhausting. But yeah, so you have to just really, so with a group that large, you know, you have to be ready for people to always expect you to be there for them. Once you start giving things away for free, like knowledge for free, they come to you with everything. And so you just have to be ready for that. It's interesting. Real estate has essentially like created these celebrities in a weird way, right? Like what, I don't know any other industry that has that type of feeling to it. Like the real estate industry has people who are, I think it's probably HGTV that's done this.
I mean, look at our, you know, our organization. We've got Tarek El Moussa, and
right, like you just said, you work with Tarek. We've interviewed Tarek a few times on Lab Coats. You know, he's definitely like a real estate celebrity. You know, you have people in different organizations who, you know, people look up to these people like they're movie stars in a way. And it's one of those things like, you know, when we go to conferences, like you do have to really just be on your best behavior, make sure that like you're always smiling, take as many selfies. Like it's fun, but like that's what the industry's turning into. And that's why you have to really be careful with who you're taking advice from. Because with social media, everyone's a millionaire, you know? So you just really have to, like, I've always been very honest about my life and my just my business, and like I've never sold $100 million in real estate, and that was kind of by choice, just because like I know the type of person I am, and I can't wrap my head around running an organization that big that would generate that much volume, because I'm not that type of person. Like I have so much anxiety that it wouldn't be fun for me. Right. And we live in a world where, you know, an agent who sells 10 million is not seen as a top producer. You know, that's $300,000 a year. I don't know about you, but that's a lot of money, no matter how you look at it. And I live in Michigan. Do you know how far that will take me in Michigan? Holy smokes. I could buy like a 5,000 square foot house in Michigan on a $300,000 a year income. So you just have to just be real with people. And I'm all about, you know, being real. I don't like flash things around on social media. I just like to be grounded and be responsible and just be relatable. That's I think the most important thing.
Well, and I feel like that's what people are. Yes, we like our, you know, movie stars and celebrities that we follow on Instagram,
of course,
and whatnot, but what we like even better is when we're able to relate to those people, and it's like, I don't know, it just makes you like take a breath, like takes the edge off a little bit. Maybe I need to show everybody how I was getting my IV today.
Oh
Hey,
yeah. So why don't you? Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's so relatable, Hallie.
so Hallie, funny story. When you told me you were going to do that, I was thinking, boy, she's brave. It's almost sitcom if they did it for me, all the faces I make.
Yeah.
I swear,
I
I'm
mean,
like, I've been poked and prodded my whole life. I used to have, I have terrible allergies, and I was like so young of an age getting like allergy shots 3 times a week. So now I'm just like, oh,
yeah. For those listening, before we
Right.
went live, Hallie had a nurse come to her office and put an IV in her arm because she's not feeling well. So that's completely relatable.
I'm like, is it?
Yes.
Well, it's relatable if you have ever thought of that and wanted to do that.
We're just teasing you. I would totally, I'm such a baby when I'm sick. Holy smokes.
I know, man cold. I'm like, I
Yeah.
have man cold syndrome. No, I love it though, because even though like your community is all real estate agents and that's not who you're
Well, real estate agents, lenders, there's probably home inspectors in there.
Yeah,
There's
okay. Yeah.
technology, CEOs. Yeah.
Well, I guess in like starting it out, were you still doing real estate production at the
Oh
time?
yeah. I got out of real estate production in the end of 2019.
Okay. Yeah. So, I feel like even though that wasn't technically like your target audience for production, it still benefited you as an agent. I'm sure it helped you learn,
Oh yeah.
make connections, helped you build referrals, like a whole network.
Well, I think it's, to be a part of a community like that
Mhm.
is super important, because it does connect you with people who are doing higher level things.
Mhm.
So many agents don't understand the value of being around people who are doing more than them, going to events. If you can't go to events, joining a community, taking advice, learning strategy, business models. That stuff's so important. And, lab coat agents in some cases kind of takes the place of an agent who works maybe at a smaller brokerage that doesn't have, a thriving training system set up for their agents. Like
Yeah.
maybe there's no training, maybe there's nothing online, maybe there's, the broker doesn't really keep up with what's happening in the world of digital lead generation. So it is.
Especially when you live in a town like San Angelo where it's 100,000 people.
Oh wow, that's where you live?
Yep.
Well, you're in the
Part-time
United
at
States,
least, yeah.
but you have lots of stuff online, on lots of virtual trainings to tap
Right.
into, and so like it's a lot of agents don't have that, and so lab coats is a place for them to go and learn. Like I can't tell you how many people have reached out to me and said, because of lab coat agents and the things I learned, I doubled my business, and things of that nature. And that's so cool to hear. Like, oh, Nick, I took that strategy you posted about farming and I tried it, and I got 4 listings, and that's really cool stuff to hear. And it makes you feel good when things that you're putting out there are actually working for people, and it gives you a lot more credibility when things that you're putting out there are working for people, right? Because there's so much doubt. Agents just have doubt by nature. They never think anything's going to work. They never want to invest in anything because they think like they're being sold, snake oil or whatever. So it's nice when something works for somebody and it helps give you credibility in the industry,
Yeah.
because there's so much BS that agents are sold every single day that doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, and look at now you've been able to pivot it into another, multiple businesses, and
Yeah,
you're
so
doing something you're like truly passionate about.
yeah, so it definitely has helped me have more freedom in terms of what I want to do. So now that I'm back with Keller Williams after a brief hiatus at EXP, nothing bad about EXP. it just didn't. I just didn't have the same opportunities there that I had. It's just a different model of business. So
not every place is going to be the best place for every single person.
So I thought I needed a change, and in some ways making that change actually was a beneficial thing, because then I got some opportunities that I didn't have before.
Right.
And now I'm creating this creating a community around branding and marketing, because that's definitely something that agents just really stink at. You know, they're like, well, I have a logo. That's cool. What does your logo mean? I don't know. It's just like a key because I sell houses, or it's a house. Like I sell houses. I'm like, okay, that's why. Come on. A logo, first of all, is not your brand. And a logo should be the very last thing that you actually create once you figure out what your brand promises are, your brand beliefs, your brand values, your customer value proposition. That's the, you know, what do you, you know, what charities do you support with your business? You know, do you do client events? You know, things like that. Like that should, figuring out what your business is and then putting that into action. And then really your brand is really not up to you. Your brand is what people think about you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your brand is what the consumer thinks of when they think of you, you know? So they don't understand the difference between marketing, branding, and advertising. They're all three very different things.
Yeah.
And it can be very confusing. And usually they don't know how to do anything that doesn't sound like, they think every time they post on social media, they should be getting leads, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, does Nike post ads on social media to get leads? No, Nike doesn't need to get leads, because they post pictures of sneakers and you love those sneakers, so you buy them. If you're giving value, offering people, you know, ebooks on home buying, or giving people advice on, you know, what to look for in a home inspection, or highlighting local businesses, or whatever, that stuff's value, and marketing should attract people. When you're running an ad to capture leads, that's not marketing. That's lead capture. When you're running an ad for a video that you created, or a blog that's informative, that's marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but what's my ROI? Okay, but you're getting the word out there about yourself and your business. And sometimes you're not gonna, that's like what Gary Vee says. What's the ROI on spending time with your grandmother? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You do it because it brings value to people. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, this platform is called Realify. It's really open to anybody, and it's a platform that everything is focused around branding and marketing. We do weekly masterminds. We have ebooks and downloads and interviews with top industry experts. There, I use that word again. Who are doing marketing at a very high level. So it's only $99. So it's like, coaching can be so expensive these days. $1,000 a month minimum for a coach, right? And you get like 30 minutes with them on the phone, and like, that's it. And sometimes you can't even contact them in between your calls.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we want to make something accessible and attainable for agents to understand how they can attract business, as opposed to going out there with commission breath and begging people to work with them. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. I know.
I've never heard that.
Well, and it's definitely heavier right now. We're recording this mid-December right now. This will be out about mid to end of January. But right now, you know, interest rates are still higher. We're at the slowest time of the year. It's easy to get the commission breath.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think, you know, and the consumer is so smart, and they're so wise when it comes to that. I mean, they know when they're being sold to. They know when you don't care. So if you're coming from a place of value and you're not trying to have a conversation that's always about setting an appointment, then you're much more likely in this day and age to get that business. Because really marketing is about empathy and understanding like where the person is in a certain process or part of their life and like relating to that. So that's super important to think about.
Yeah. I love that with the empathy part. I feel like that's personally one of my superpowers. I say that, but it's also
There's
like
not
kind of
enough
a
empathy
curse
in the
too.
world right
Because
now.
I'm like, then I feel like sometimes I have so much empathy that I like take on, whoever I'm talking to or whoever I'm dealing with. I'm like, can take that on. So it's like it can be a superpower when you control it right.
It can also, if you're like me, where your feelings on your, what's the phrase?
Wearing your heart on your sleeve.
You wear
or something like that.
I'm so empathetic and sympathetic, and like I have, I feel bad and feel sad and feel guilty like so easily, right? So it can be a good thing and a bad thing, but it's definitely a superpower because I don't feel like there's enough empathy going around these days. That's for sure.
Yeah, that is for sure. Maybe by design, who knows? But we won't get into that.
Nope, that's not this type of show.
It's not. So,
but Hallie, you got borderline political on your Instagram the other day with that post about the Ryan Serhant post about the government wanting to give people money to buy homes, and you were like, and then you had the little poll. Is this a good thing or is it because it's an election year? I'm like, she's like borderline. But that's okay. I'm very outspoken. If you go to my Instagram, you'll instantly know who I am. And if you don't want to follow me, fine. Like that's I feel like if you don't speak your mind, there's less credibility in not, I'm not saying like all the time.
Yeah.
But I actually, if you speak your mind, I don't have to agree with you. Yeah. If I don't agree with you, I'm not going to follow you, but I respect you for speaking up. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's hard. I'm not a black and white person at all. I'm a very gray person.
Except for the sweater that you're wearing.
Yes, except for the sweater I'm wearing.
Except for my outfit.
Except for the outfit.
I couldn't pick one or the other. It couldn't be black or white. It had to be both.
Right.
So, and I'm very much, I think it might go with the empathy part. I like seeing the other side. I like having friends on both sides of politics, and I like having conversations around both sides. It's frustrating when I can't ask questions and you just automatically want to assume what my stance is. It depends on the topic what my stance is. It really does. I'm not just saying that to please both sides. That's truly who I am.
Yeah.
I grew up, my mom was a Democrat and my dad was Republican, and I was in a split house. Look at this thing.
Who did that?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like a new feature.
What? Where's that coming from all of a sudden?
I don't know. Maybe
did you press that button?
What? Did I press? No.
You didn't press anything?
No.
Okay,
Watch this.
If you're listening to us, all of these effects are happening on Hallie's video right now.
I think it's like my new MacBook or something.
Like I clapped for her earlier and it got all excited.
Well, what I was going to say was, let me rephrase what I said. I said earlier, if I don't agree with you, I'm not going to follow you. That's incorrect. If you're open, if you're polite about your beliefs, and you don't put someone down for not believing what you believe, like if you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you're rude about it and shut down and want to feel like you're the only one who has the answers, that's going to be difficult to have a conversation with.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So, but anyway, let's move on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just any besides even politics, it's just I feel like there is so much out right now about like taking a stance on something, and it's just I'm such a gray person that it's hard for me to take a stance.
Well,
And
nothing's
not
black and
be
white,
like,
and
well, but
people
I
act like it.
understand, this side. And it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that because I'm trying to appease both sides. I'm really not. That's just who I am. But
Yeah.
I will say I am taking a stance right now that I don't think these big hedge funds should own all this real estate. I don't think a bunch of foreign countries, especially ones that we don't trust on
Yeah.
other things, why are we letting them come in and
No, I
buy?
agree with that.
Like there's a bunch of people from or foreign investors from China right now buying all like farmland in Texas, and that scares me.
No, I agree
Because
with you because first of all, these homes should be available to people who want to buy homes.
yeah,
Right.
right.
It was kind of like the
The
same thing
American
when
dream.
Zillow started buying up all these homes in
Right.
bulk. I didn't think that was I didn't think that was a good thing either. When any of these companies come in like Open Door or whatever, and they just buy up real estate, that's I understand Open Door is more of an investor, so it might be a little bit different.
Yeah.
But when you're selling mass amounts of land and property to, investment funds, that's definitely not in the best interest of the home buyer.
Renter Nation. And like all the stats show that home ownership is the number one way to build wealth.
Oh yeah,
It
100%.
increases your net worth by like 300% or some crazy number like that.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm not always for government interference, but in this case, I think it's important for the wealth of our country and like the American dream. That's what we were founded on.
I
That's
no,
my
I agree with you, and
There we go.
it
I got a
also
stance in.
it also narrows the market.
Yep.
There's obviously less property to list and to buy, and just makes things tighter.
Yep.
It also
and
drives
increases
up
prices.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. It drives up
Inflation.
prices ridiculously. So yeah,
I think
completely
there's
agree.
some things that we do need to control and that will have a benefit for everyone in the nation, I guess, besides these hedge funds. But like, I think from what I've heard, they started dumping into real estate because there were different sanctions put on like oil and gas or like other, industries that so I don't know, maybe they need to figure out.
So when are you putting your bid in for president?
Who am I or when?
When are you putting your bid in for president?
I don't know. 2020 something? No, I don't know.
2028?
I feel like I have too many skeletons in the closet, maybe.
Oh yeah, well those will all come out. That one time in college, that's going to come out, Hallie.
Yeah,
right. I'll run for vice president. I'll be your vice president.
Yes. Yeah. Well, maybe for something else, but definitely not for president. That also just doesn't sound that fun.
Estate.
But I'd like all the outfits. We'll maybe I do it for the outfit.
Same. My friends have joked with me for years because I've worn blazers and things, and a few of them listen to this weekly, so they know who I'm talking about now. They always called me, "What are you running for, mayor's wife or something, or president?"
Nice.
Adam's definitely a little
who I want to be. I was dressing for who I wanted to be. I was manifesting what I wanted to become.
Okay, so I want to get a little bit into about AI.
Yeah,
I know that's a topic that you've been.
It's a hot topic.
Yeah, hot topic. Well, yeah, just hot topic in the real estate community in general, but something that you've really been diving deeper into.
Yep.
I guess. Do you want to give us like hacks, tips, and tricks around AI?
Sure.
Talk about a few different platforms, or you can take it however you want to.
I think I think AI can really be a huge leverage point for real estate agents, especially, we were talking about the marketing and branding side of it, especially for agents that have trouble thinking of content ideas. They have trouble thinking of what to post on Facebook. They don't know how to write a listing description that is enticing. You can use ChatGPT for all of those all of those things. Just tell it what you're attempting to do, and it'll give you great ideas for all of those things. It'll also give you scripts if you're not good at writing scripts for a video.
Mm-hmm.
It can help you write an ebook if you want to offer that as value for a Facebook campaign, or for something you want to send to your database, people that you know or don't know. It can help you with all of those things. You just have to know how to talk to it.
Yeah.
And the more specific you are, the better it's going to be. And if you let ChatGPT also ask you questions around something that you're looking to do, it becomes more specific as well. So let's say you want to run a Facebook ad. You could say, I'm a real estate agent in, any town, USA, and I'm looking for home buyers, and I want to run some Facebook campaigns, but I'm not sure what the campaign should be about. Ask me some questions to help me figure out, what direction that you're going. And then it'll ask you a series of questions. And then when it's done, it'll have the information that it needs, kind of like an interview.
Yeah.
It'll give you an idea or multiple ideas of what types of ads you should run. And I think that that's super powerful. The same with a video. I want to do some videos, but I don't know where to start. What are 10 ideas that realtors can do and make videos about? That can be really helpful. You can also, if you are at the point where you want to create a logo, you're like, I'm looking to create a logo, but I'm not sure what it should look like. Ask me some questions about my brand to help me figure out what the design should be. So then it'll, ask you questions, and then at the end, it won't make the logo for you, but it'll explain how it thinks the logo should look. And then when you go to Fiverr to make the logo, you have a very descriptive description to give to somebody, because the more descriptive you are, the better it's gonna look, and the more efficient it's gonna be. So those are just some ideas that agents can use. And so if let's say you're making a video about a specific area and you want to highlight, I don't know, local parks or whatever the case may be, it'll give you a script. You can film yourself talking. You can use B-roll from certain apps, like descript.com. So, because ChatGPT will write the script and then it'll say, it'll let's say it's
like enter B-roll or something.
It'll say it'll say cut to a couple having a picnic in the park, right? And if you don't want to go out and film that because it's difficult, you can find B-roll footage that's royalty free on Descript, and insert that where ChatGPT tells you to insert it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So those are some tricks, like Facebook posts, video content, ebooks, logo design. The more specific you are, and the more ChatGPT learns about you, and the more you let it ask you questions, the better of a result you're going to have in the end. Because like I said, if you have someone who is going to edit your video, or if you have someone who's going to make a logo for you, the description is very important when you're hiring someone on those sites like Fiverr.
Right.
The more descriptive you are, the less it's going to cost, the fewer revisions you're going to have, and the more satisfied you're going to be.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So, okay, I have a question for you. So we were talking a little bit about, like, I personally like to use video, vid.yo. Like, even for promoting our podcast, I'll download the podcast and upload it to video, or like some people like Opus Clip, and it can spit out little optimized short form video clips for you to post on like the vertical video platform, so short form, so Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. And for this Descript, I haven't used this or heard of this before just now, or like the beginning of this podcast. Would this be an alternative for video or
no? So Descript is a lot more complex. There's a lot more stuff that goes into it. So if someone, and there's a learning curve, like it took me a couple weeks to really get sort of the hang of it. Like I still don't even know half of what it can do because there's so much stuff there. But if someone's just never done it before, I would definitely use Opus Clip or Video, something like that, where the algorithm can watch your video and spit out certain aspects of your video that it thinks are short and viral and digestible. So I would definitely use those apps if you just have no experience.
Okay. Yeah.
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 Because Descript is definitely, there's a lot more manual. There's a lot more of an manual aspect to it. Although there are AI aspects, it still relies heavily on the human being.
Yeah, definitely. And do you recommend, like I've been wanting to just have like a whole note in my, like I'm someone that relies heavily on my Notes app in my iPhone. And it connects to my MacBook, my iPad. Are you someone that keeps like all of that, all those questions, like you said, like where ChatGPT can pull all those questions and really like focus in on who you are, and that like the more specific you get, do you keep those prompts in your notes, or is that like something you suggest, or do you keep it in your ChatGPT and just always go back to that little folder?
Yeah, that would force me to be organized, and so that is something I am not. I don't know if you're familiar with the DISC assessment, but I'm a very high I.
Yeah.
And I am all about, like the creative process.
Yeah.
And I am very keeping notes would mean I would have to be diligent about that.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Is it something you'd suggest though?
My mess is organized to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if that works for you, if you come up with prompts that work for you, yeah, definitely keep them in a notebook or Notes app or Google Keep or whatever you use to refer to, because ChatGPT is definitely not organized. It doesn't have like a file aspect to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
it has those little tabs though where you can come back.
It's something I've learned with it. When I use it, I'll type something in, and then the next time I'm like, okay, well, it's still there. I don't need that one again.
Like ChatGPT, like everything stays there that you create, but it's hard to find something from weeks ago that you want to revisit.
Right. If you're using
it's not organized in that sense. But yeah, I would find something that's a little bit more organized if that's something that you find will help you for sure. Yeah. I know that if I did that, it would be much easier, but I don't have the mental capacity to organize my life in that way.
Yes.
I just can't do it. You know what I mean? My wife is very organized. Like she is like a spreadsheet, PowerPoint.
Yes.
Queen.
Yes. I love it. See, that's like who I am.
Yeah. Like when
I scribble on paper the old school way.
What is that? What is a physical notebook? What the?
I'm taking that.
I know. I'm like, I see everybody on Facebook right now. Like, what paper planner should I get? I'm like, what? You don't use Google Calendar? What the heck?
Well, I do use Google Calendar, but when I'm like on these calls, like you guys say stuff, and then I can scribble it down.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like it doesn't work for everybody,
The teacher in me comes out.
Yes,
with writing,
live in me.
Yeah,
so I taught for 13 years.
Something down is definitely better to remember if you're writing something down. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
like how people, speaking of the morning routines, like people will write out their goals every morning instead of like typing them, because something with writing them out
much different.
It's imprinted in your brain better.
That's
I don't know.
Still use the book I told you about, Hallie?
I do. Yes, the 5-minute journal.
I actually
don't have time for
that
17-hour morning routines. I have 5 minutes or less to journal.
Yes.
What's your morning routine, Hallie? Do you jump in a cold plunge and then bench press a car and then hike up a mountain and then?
That sounds like mine.
If you're not doing that, Hallie, then you're just not successful.
I know, right? Gosh, I'm a loser.
Totally.
No, ideally, and this doesn't happen every day, you know, but ideally I wake up and I do like a 5-minute meditation, 5-minute journaling, work on something that kind of stimulates my brain. And then ideally, it doesn't happen all the time, but right now I'm loving going to Pilates.
Okay.
So ideally go to Pilates, and ideally in the morning, because I just feel like I get really tired in the afternoon and I'll get lazy and more excuses to skip it. But even though I love it, it's just easier with everything going on in the world to skip it in the afternoon. Then I get to it after, like, get ready, shower, and then if I have time, review my goals and priorities. But that doesn't always happen. So just being real about that.
Well, you know, people don't realize, you know, a lot of those gurus on Instagram, people, they don't seem to realize that, you know, the average person, like the normal person, like I have an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
And our morning routine is literally getting them ready for school.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I can't even imagine. Like, I don't have any kids right now.
No, like my wife and I wake up at 5:30, so we have 30 minutes to drink coffee together and just chat.
Yes, yeah.
And then the kids are up, and then it's like, you know, a complete, you know, cluster, you know what, for the next hour.
Yeah.
So
I don't have kids, but I still try to get up by 5:45, 6, just because my phone's not ringing at that time, and the world doesn't need me at that time. So
for sure. I mean, we're in bed by 9 o'clock every night.
See, that's my issue lately. I need a better nighttime routine, because I feel like I get caught up. Like I'll end up working on something later than I'm supposed to, and then it's like my brain's running, and then I need some time to wind down. And then by that time it's 10:30, and I'm supposed to get up at 6 the next day, and it's like I need 8 hours. Like,
yep, for sure.
So I think 2024 is going to be the year of the nighttime routine.
If The Bachelor is on, we're in bed by 10, so you know.
Yeah.
I'm winding down by 9:30, and I get a second wind around 10:30 for whatever.
I know. What? I'm like that stupid second wind from looking at my screens, and
and then
those screens down.
This week, though, my Wednesdays have been wearing me out, though, because I filmed American Dream last Wednesday, and then we had a full day yesterday with family and friends, and we had to attend a funeral yesterday, so it was it was an all day long event. So, and I was just like, these Wednesdays are kicking my booty.
Well, it's almost Friday. Not like that means anything to real estate agents.
I know, right? Okay, so any other AI tools that real estate agents should be using in 2024, you think?
Yeah, so let me think. What else am I using? There's a lot of content apps that are out there, and I always forget like the names of them, because there's so many different ones that help you with content. Trying to think, there's this one, I'm forgetting the name of it. Let me see if I can. I know we're recording this, but like, I see if I can find it.
Here, yeah.
Okay, so there's this app called AirPost, AIRPOST, AirPost AI.
Okay.
And what AirPost does, this is if you have like, if you want to supplement your content.
Okay.
What AirPost does is it asks for your business website. And I don't think it asks you questions. I think it takes your business website. It might ask you a few questions. I'm not 100% sure. but it then reads your website, figures out what you do, and then scours TikTok for viral videos that can then be repurposed and aimed towards what you do for business.
I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it.
So like some of them have people in it, so I don't tend to use the ones with people. I use the ones that are kind of like memes.
Yeah.
But these videos have already gone viral on TikTok, and people have used them over and over again. But it just finds these videos and then puts captions on the screen that relate to your business. Yeah. You can change the captions if you want, but it's good for supplementing your content for something a little funny. Maybe you don't have time to film a video that day. You can have these, 15-second meme clips with funny captions that relate to real estate.
Right.
That it finds for you. And because they've gone viral, they tend to do decently well. They don't always.
Yeah.
But they tend to do decently well. And so AirPost, and it's very inexpensive. I don't remember the exact price, but they give you a trial. So like you can try it for free. I think they'll give you 10 posts for free.
Awesome.
So you can test it out. Yeah, I really liked it. I dig that.
Okay, love that one.
Mine over here.
Yeah.
And I just noticed we're coming up on the hour. Any other last minute hacks, tips, or tricks for agents out there?
Well, let's see. What is it? What is it?
One tip and trick: join Lab Code Agents and the referral group on Facebook.
If you're interested in marketing and branding training, go to realifyyourworld.com.
Okay.
And that's a good tip and a good trick. And
I think I'm going to have to do that too. Because I'm personally, I feel like I'm struggling. I've always been really good with personal brand and marketing, but so I was Hallie's Homes before I started my team. And now it's like promoting the team. So that's just an example for anybody else out there that might relate to that. That's something I'd love to talk to you about offline or, through your Realify.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about it.
That might be a whole nother podcast actually too.
Yes.
But yeah, so I mean, there's basically like if anything that you're looking to do, there's AI for it at this point.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll go on if I want to make, like let's say you need to make a new listing presentation. There are apps out there that will do slides, AI slides, So you can look for AI PowerPoint, AI Google Slides, AI presentation templates, and these apps will ask you questions about your business. And listen, it's not you're going to have to go in and make some edits, but it's a good starting point.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's especially a good starting point.
Leveraging your time too.
100%.
That's my favorite thing about AI is just saving me time.
Oh yeah, it's all about saving time. And the good thing about AI is like these sites, these apps are either free or they're very inexpensive.
Yeah.
I mean, the more you get, the more it adds up. But I know that, Opus Clip is like $10 or something. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's around $10. I think Descript is like $25. Like it's not that expensive. So figure out like a tech stack of AI sites that help you, and it's not going to break the bank, which is great.
Absolutely. I love it. Yeah. Okay. So if anybody has questions about any of this, the personal branding, AI, fostering an online community, we've got Nick's.
Oh my God, fostering an online community. We could have talked a whole hour on how to do that.
I know. Gosh, I think we need some more episodes with Nick.
Okay, cool. We can have a whole hour about how to create an online community, and a lot of agents think
that would be amazing.
It needs to be about real estate when actually it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be about real estate. Like if you're trying to meet people online, it should not be a real estate group.
Okay.
So yeah, invite me back anytime.
Okay, well, if you have questions for him, he is on Instagram. It's at Nick Baldwin _79.
Correct.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Also Facebook. Just look for
Thank
Nick
you.
Baldwin.
Yes. And then everybody, just as a reminder, follow me. Actually, you know what? Yeah. And follow me and Casey too, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. At CB Stires. It's easy.
Yes. And then also want to remind you guys to follow or, subscribe, follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify podcasts as well, whichever one you prefer to get your notifications or listen on. Spotify also, we were just talking about this, has a video feature now as well. Probably solely because they have Joe Rogan on there, but I'm okay with that. One day we'll be there. And then also, don't forget to leave us a review. Always open to criticism, any feedback of what you'd like to see, who you'd like to come on. Nick's coming back on. We already know that.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
We've got multiple episodes we need to dive into now. But yeah, and we'll be back next Monday, 5:30 p.m. Central Time.
6:30 Eastern.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we just thank you for always tuning in. Send us your questions. And thank you to Nick for coming on. He's a busy guy,
Nick.
So we're very appreciative of him.
And we will see everybody next week.
Get some fireworks going for that.
Wow, look at that.
I don't have fireworks.
That's definitely your MacBook.
I know. Awesome. Well, thank you guys, and we will see you next week.
Bye,
Thank you,
everybody.
Nick.